And college football came out with Alabama, Clemson, Michigan, and Texas A&M. Now, that is not the 4 teams I would have chosen. The 4 teams I would have chosen would have been Alabama, Clemson, Michigan, and I like Ohio State. But there is some consternation. There is some arguing that how can Washington, undefeated, not be 4th? Texas A&M with a loss is 4th. I am somebody from the Pacific Northwest. I am somebody 2 years ago that owned season tickets to Washington, and I would put Washington behind Texas A&M and Ohio State. Washington is a little bit like the Ken Bone. Remember that guy in the red sweater of college football? Ken Bone was a local guy. And then Ken Bone goes to a debate, and he gets foisted into the national discussion. And then with closer inspection, Ken Bone's got some issues. Washington is rebuilding its program. And in the process of rebuilding it, Washington softened up their out-of-conference schedule. Idaho, Portland State, and Rutgers. In the process of doing that, they have now been unexpectedly elevated to the national discussion like old Ken Bone. And closer inspection, their schedule's not good enough yet. Their schedule's not good enough yet. Washington did not think they were going to be in this situation. They are rebuilding their program. They softened up their out-of-conference schedule. They got on the phone and dialed up Rutgers, Idaho, Portland State. Conversely, Texas A&M, further along in the growth of their program, got on the phone and dialed UCLA. I watched every snap of that game. Texas A&M physically dominated UCLA. They've also beaten Auburn and Auburn, Arkansas and Tennessee. Whoa, but Washington's undefeated. I've never been paralyzed by records in college football. 8-0 is not absolutely better than 7-1. Because college football, unlike the NFL, you can control 25 to 30% of your schedule. So I am not paralyzed by it. In fact, I go the other way. I rip Iowa. I rip schools that try to do the fake ID at the nightclub. They want to get in. They haven't earned it. Washington, to grow their program, create stability, soften their schedule. And to this point in their schedule, and there's a long way to go, they are not equipped to argue as a 4th team. I don't care they're undefeated. Iowa was undefeated last year, and I laughed at them. Nebraska was undefeated, and I said, won't be in 2 weeks. They'll have 2 losses. I don't get paralyzed. College football fans want you to be paralyzed by their record. I'll look at it, but I want to know who your athletic director got on the phone and dialed. Washington has played a garbage out-of-conference schedule, struggled to win at awful Arizona, and we now know that Stanford and Oregon aren't very good. There's a long way to go. My gut feeling is Washington probably goes undefeated, and this won't be an issue. But I'm going to be consistent on this because I've been consistent on this for years. I should emotionally root for Washington. But what I root for is college football on a macro level. Get on the phone and dial good teams. Texas A&M, UCLA for 3.5 hours rewarded me as a college football fan. Washington, Portland State did not. And I will always defend a one-loss team if they've lost a legitimate game. And losing at Alabama is a legitimate loss.